Hi everybody, my name is Eric with Smart Pot Fabric Planters and welcome back to The Growing Revolution. We have a great podcast planned. We have one of our distributors from the Middle East in Kuwait, Jassem Bastaki, and he is the founder of Sustainable Organic Kuwait, and he is awesome on Instagram. He does a lot of updates of his rooftop garden, and he's a huge proponent of smart pots. So, Jassem, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Eric. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and for those that aren't aware, Jassem is in Kuwait, and right now it's morning where I'm at, and it's evening where he's at. So thank you so much for being flexible with your schedule and doing this podcast with us.
Oh, most definitely. Anything for you guys, and thank you guys for making the best containers to grow.
Well,
especially for us here in the dry environment.
Yes,
hot and dry.
I've got a few questions that kind of go along with your growing environment. So, but before we get into that, I wanted to see if you could maybe tell us a little bit about Kuwait in general, where it is, and what is life like over there.
Oh God, I wasn't expecting that, but right now, life is all about staying sane with all that's happening with COVID. But we're in the Middle East. We're on the Persian or Arabian Gulf, whichever name you're familiar with. We're south of Iraq and north of Saudi. The climate is very dry and hot in the summer, and it can be a bit cold in the winter. Although the really cold times, short, maybe a couple weeks. You can think of the climate in Arizona as what we deal with here. Although the grow season, in spite of being a desert here, the grow season may actually be a little longer than a lot of the places that people are familiar with, where people are. Even where I was used to growing in Pittsburgh. Up until 2012. It is a city lifestyle. It's definitely a city, urbanized lifestyle.
What's the population of Kuwait? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, right now it's about 4 million, but the Kuwaiti nationals are only 30% of that, maybe even less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of the population is expats.
Oh, wow. Okay, so people from like England and the United States generally?
East Asia, Southeast Asia, and North Africa mostly, but from all over the world.
Oh, awesome. So it's a very cosmopolitan country then. Probably have a great selection of restaurants, I bet.
Oh yeah, food is good here.
Nice. Now, before founding Sustainable Organic, you had already been working as a head and neck pathologist and diagnostician. What is that career like for those of us who are unfamiliar?
It's really stressful. And that's where growing, gardening, farming comes in. It's a place to ground yourself and de-stress. Maybe just get out of this urbanized city lifestyle, the stressful hospital environment, into something a little more natural, connect with nature, even hear the sound of birds, even the insects here and there, get a little tick bite here or there, whatever that can help with a stressful job like that.
Yeah, awesome. Now, when did you start Sustainable Organic, and are you distributing through any retailers, or is it direct to consumer? How is your business model working there?
We started with the purpose of sourcing high quality grow products in the region. Like I said before, I was used to growing in Pittsburgh, and Whether I grew in a container or straight in the ground, I had everything that I needed to have a successful grow available for me. But when I moved back to Kuwait in 2012, at that time, maybe things weren't as available as they are now. I started growing hydroponically, but I realized that was very costly, and also having to deal with the pest issues. Yeah, the growth was amazing, but then dealing with pests. And when I switched to living soil type growing, and it was actually in smart pots, I just had much better results, even indoor. I was growing indoor just because I wasn't familiar with the climate here, and I always assumed that I'm in a desert is not going to work. But after the first couple tries, I figured that no, it actually works, and it's definitely cheaper than growing hydroponically and mixing all the nutrients and keeping track of the numbers. The issue was with sourcing really high quality stuff. I actually had to bring everything with me from the States. With my line of work and also with having a house and family in Pittsburgh, I would be back and forth at least twice a year in the States. And every time I went to the States, I came back with everything that I needed. I would actually write a list of the things that I potentially would be getting from the States on the next visit. And then when I'm desperate for a certain thing, I would use Amazon or some of the forwarding services that are there. It's just way too expensive. I figured, why not source the everything that I personally need for my grows, source it here, but also for everybody else. I realized also after going on the social media and testing the market and understanding the culture there, I realized that a lot of work needs to be done. It's not just sourcing the material that I need, it's sourcing it and letting people know that, hey, there are good products out there that can help you grow better quality food and a lot cheaper. And guess what? You can grow your own food. This is something that all you urbanized city dwellers can think about, can check out, and can enjoy and incorporate it into your lifestyle. And so yeah, we started in 2018, and ever since, I'm just noticing the change in the culture, and even actually the change in biodiversity in the region.
Awesome. Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, and your garden tours in the morning when you do your filming. It's such a treat, and yeah, for anybody who wonders, hey, can I grow in smart pots in a harsh desert environment? Just look at Jassem's Instagram feed. His garden is amazing. So have you always been a gardener, or, what brought you into that world? Were you a gardener, as a younger man?
You know what? The first time I actually gardened, not like just put an onion in a glass and watch the roots grow and then the leaves. It was during the invasion, the first Gulf War.
Okay.
At the time I was 9, almost turning 10, and the Iraqi soldiers closed the produce shop where I used to work as a kid with my uncle, and I saw my uncle very worried. Like, what are we going to do now? Where are we going to get veggies for the people? So I said, well, Uncle, can we try growing it? How about I do that? Because at that time, us kids, the neighborhood kids, in that age range, 9, 10, 11, 8, we took care of certain tasks for the neighborhood, cleaning out the trash, collecting all the trash of the neighborhood, and also we used to also raise farm animals in the city neighborhood, just so people can have some food.
Yep.
And I guess because we had the responsibility of raising the farm animals, it was like, hey, we can also try growing the food. And that was the start. That was the first time I grew something, and I actually totally forgot about it. Totally forgot about that until more recently, with questions and with interviews. But then years go by, and I don't grow, I don't garden or do anything until I moved to Pittsburgh for school. And just I happened to have a really nice backyard and decided to grow my own food there. It was, it's a lot more expensive for a student to buy from the store than actually grow, especially in Pittsburgh with all the rain, with fertile soil. All I had to do was get seeds.
You're a strong proponent of Smart Pot fabric planters. How did you first come across Smart Pots?
Social media and just watching a lot of the grows and YouTubes, and a lot of them. Most of the people I watched were from the States, and a lot of them spoke highly of Smart Pots, and I figured, hey, let me try that. And that was the first time. It was 2013.
Okay, so you were in Pittsburgh then at that time, or you were back in Kuwait?
I knew of them when I was in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's just I never needed to use them in Pittsburgh. But the first time I decided it's time. It's time, just because it was way too hot for the plastic pots that I tried here in Kuwait. Just one hit with the sun rays here, and you got an oven.
Yeah.
But when I used the Smart Pots and I saw how they literally sweat just like our skins sweat in the summer, I thought that was amazing. I won't have any issues with anaerobic environment in my soil just because it's now turning into a sauna or a steam room, And I saw how my plants grew in Smart Pots.
The proof is in the pudding, as I like to say. Nice. So, can you tell us what you're growing in your Smart Pots? What can we see on your rooftop garden?
I used to say I grow everything that I eat. Now I say I grow everything to have a complete ecosystem in my garden. I grow a lot of things that I know I won't end up eating. I know that the pests or the birds in the garden will have their share there. But that's part of it. That helps build that ecosystem. That helps attract a lot of different organisms. I actually grow most of the brassicas that I grow are not for me to eat. Are to attract those moths that will help pollinate my zucchinis and squashes in the evening. Because with different genetics, the lighting here is different. The wavelengths, the light component, the different waves are different here from where these heirloom varieties came. So when the flowers open and close are different in Boulder than they are here. And I noticed that my zucchinis need a lot of night pollinators. So I grow brassicas to attract those moths. And I also have I also have bees now on the rooftop. So I grow a lot of flowers for my bees.
Oh, that's awesome.
And my summer cover crop has to have a good flowering phase in it, specifically for feeding my bees.
Yeah, I noticed that, you're a big proponent of doing like cover crops. And would you say that definitely helps the overall ecosystem of your soil?
It does. Growing cover crop in the soil helps that soil, and it also helps the pots near the spot where you're growing the cover crop. As long as you have biodiversity, you're helping your garden and your grows.
Totally.
Whether it's soil that we're talking about or the entire garden.
Nice. Now, you're based in Kuwait. Are you servicing any other countries in the Middle East?
Yeah, our business tailors to consumers, direct buyers, and also to businesses. So we supply businesses and we sell directly to consumers. And our access is online, and also in physical stores. We have multiple stations in multiple physical locations in Kuwait, and we're also moving in big department stores and grocery stores.
Awesome.
We're trying to normalize gardening and the garden supplies in the eye of the consumer here in this city lifestyle, just like they see even produce in the store, slowly and hopefully.
Yeah. I think overall that is kind of our focus, at High Caliber Growing, is the urban grower, the person who wants to eat fresh, fruits and vegetables, but, maybe doesn't think that it's possible because they only have, a fifth of an acre. But, if you have a productive garden, a fifth of an acre could, feed your whole family.
Dude, we have followers here that we also follow that grow a lot of what they eat in just a small balcony.
Yeah.
In a few feet by 3 feet balcony.
Yeah. I follow a few other people that are customers of yours, and their backyard gardens are just fantastic. You would never guess that they were in a harsh desert growing environment, looking at those luscious plants. So can you tell us anything else like that you're into? Like, I heard that your family is big into martial arts. Is that true?
Where'd you hear that from?
Just a bird at the office.
Yeah, I grew up doing karate, and it was me and then my brother took after, and we played karate nationally here and also internationally, and now my little boy is playing karate. He's been all over the world,
wow,
representing Kuwait. He went to Poland and he had few medals there. Went to Oman. He just recently, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he came back from Kazakhstan for the Asian Championship, and he came back with 2 silvers. He did really well.
Wow, Kazakhstan's been in the news lately, so hopefully if that was before all that went down.
Yeah, it was safe.
Nice.
He's back.
Nice. So you said that you spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh for school, and I understand that your wife is originally from the United States. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, okay, and I'm assuming you guys met in college then?
Yes.
Nice. Are there any things that you miss about the United States? You had mentioned that you do come back quite often, right?
Yeah, I do. You know what? I lived most of my adult life in the United States, and more specifically in Pittsburgh. So this is what I know. This is what I grew up in, and I miss that a lot. I miss the sports, hockey, the Penguins, Steelers games, all the craziness when the games are on, the snow for sure, all the outdoor activities during that time of the year. I just love it all. The green landscape in Pennsylvania, it's all the beautiful hike sites and rivers and lakes. I love that.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, when you're living in, like a dry environment like in Arizona or California or, the Middle East, when you get into, a place like the Midwest or, out east in the United States where it gets lots of rain, it's almost like coming into a different world where everything is green instead of yellow and brown.
Exactly. Now the only... one thing that is very similar between Kuwait and Pittsburgh is having all 4 seasons in one day. It's just on a different end of the spectrum.
Nice. Has it ever snowed in Kuwait before, or does it just never get that cold?
No, it gets that cold. It can be below zero, below 0 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, but not wet enough for snow.
Okay.
Now hail, yeah, we definitely get hail. I don't want to say every year, but almost every year we can get hail. We got hail this year, but not snow.
Okay. Now, how can people follow you, and where can they learn more information about, what you're growing and just following sustainable organic in general?
They can follow us on Instagram and also on YouTube. Instagram is where we post more frequently, more of the updates. Now I've been more busy lately with work and the cases and not getting home till much later, so I haven't had enough time to spend in the garden, or even if I would go to the garden, I wouldn't have enough time to dedicate for education and filming as much as I used to. But I'm hoping to pick that back up, hopefully with getting hang of the workload now. But also the longer videos, more explanations and more in-depth detail talking is on YouTube, on our channel on YouTube.
Yeah. I personally just love watching your garden tour videos, and I'd say, 95% of what I hear in your videos, you're speaking Arabic, and I don't understand that, but at the same time, gardening is kind of a universal language, and you just have such a calming, reassuring voice that, you could be talking about dinosaurs for all I know, and it's just such a treat to be a part of your rooftop garden. It really inspires me to garden better.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I actually used to speak both. I used to switch between Arabic and English. With everything that I would say in Arabic, I would say it again in English. But that's when I had enough number of non-Arabic speakers. But now with our followers being in the 30s of thousands, and most of them are Arabic speakers, it just makes it a lot more work for me to do both. But I try also my best that whatever piece of information that I'm putting out there in Arabic, to at least type that in English.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Are there any special projects that you're working on, either personally or with the company that you think would be cool for us to know about?
I'm working with a farm in Kuwait that is growing specifically. I don't want to say organic in the certified sense of organic, but I want to say the organic in the natural sense of organic. So this farm works directly with a few restaurants and a few of the bigger kitchens in Kuwait, and they want naturally and healthy grown produce. So we're working with them in doing so, and also applying regenerative practices and hoping that this project will open up the door for a lot of the farms in Kuwait that only know and only practice monoculture to at least see that there is another way of doing things. Mm-hmm. This is one project that we're more recently working on, and we started a project with Sheikha Intisar, one of the royal family members, and a very activist princess. We've been working with her on a forestation project.
I saw that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and we were supposed to launch that a couple of Februaries ago, but unfortunately because of COVID, we had to, or let's say there were a lot of delays there. Yeah.
COVID has kind of messed up everybody's plans in the last couple of years. But yeah, that forest project in Kuwait seems really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing the progress of that come to fruition. Awesome. Well, Jassem, that was all the questions that I had. I really appreciate your time and your support of Smart Pots in general. Thank you so much for joining us on the Growing Revolution.
Most definitely, Eric. And actually, nice to finally and officially meet you. I've been following you on Instagram for a while, but now it's official.
I know, I know your voice very well, but I've never seen you in person, so it's great to finally put a face to the voice.
A lot of people actually, sometimes a lot of people know me by my voice, not by my face. And sometimes I'll be walking in the hospitals at work, between the hospitals, and talking on the phone, and then I get stopped. Do you have an Instagram account or something like that? Yeah, that's me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the invite and for having me on your podcast. It's an honor.
Yeah.
It is an honor. And also thank you guys so much for making the best products that all of us, including myself, use and continue to be impressed by everything new that you guys put out. The new 3-foot long beds are really exciting. Really exciting.
I think those are going to be. I think those are going to be a really big hit because it just opens up the opportunity for smaller scale gardeners who just want to grow a couple of plants. They don't need a ton, but they want to do something. So yeah, we're excited for those to roll out as well.
It's a very nice transition, especially for our customers, and I know their style of growing. It's an amazing transition from growing in small pots to growing in big raised beds. Mm-hmm. So this is like a connecting bridge between those two worlds.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that product officially dropping, and I'm sure you guys will see that on Jassem's Instagram feed in the not too distant future. So
I hope so. And the colors are amazing too. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, Jassem, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We look forward to following your progress going forward.
Thanks, Eric.